Akashvani. Time for a weekly program, Our Guest. I hand over the mic to the show host, Nitish Arora, for the same.
A total of 29 medals, 7 golds, 9 silver and 13 bronze medals. In an Olympics, that was the performance of our para-athletes in Paralympics 2024. Believe me, this has not come easy. They have travelled a lot and reached this far. And there's somebody who has observed our para-athletes since long. He's in the field of journalism. Mahavir Rawat is our guest today. Mahavir, welcome to Akashvani.
Thank you, Nitish ji, for having me.
The journey that started in 1968 with 10 athletes participating in the Paralympics and no medal. And the first medal came in 1972. You'd let us know, when did you start covering Paralympics and Paralympians and para-athletes per se?
Initially in my days when nobody used to give a platform to disability cricket, blind cricket, I was fortunate enough to work in an organization which used to give a little bit of platform for that. And for one of those blind cricket World Cup, there was a match between India and Pakistan. I think it was in 2014-15. I went to Firozshah Kotla Stadium, and there I met a lot of people who were engaged with disability sports. And then but there was one incident when I went to cover a cricket match. It was in Delhi, and then someone said कि सोनीपत में ना Paralympics के selection चल रही है. This was in 2016. No one knew 2016 में कि Paralympics जाते हैं. My curiosity went high and I went to Sonipat, and there I saw, there was Deepa Malay, Sundar Singh Gujar, Devendra Jhajadiya, Sharad, Varun Bhati, Mariyappan. And when I saw Mariyappan jump, and I couldn't believe my eyes. यार ऐसे भी कोई कूद सकता है क्या? And his jumps were 1.86, 1.87, and with that leg, it was phenomenal how he used that leg. Then I heard the story. There was a truck that ran over his leg, and his mother didn't have that money, even 500, 800 rupees to cure his broken leg. So that leg still remains broken, but he had turned it into a golden leg, and I was amazed. And then Paralympics started. और Paralympics में Devendra Jhajadiya got a gold medal. Mariyappan got a gold medal. Deepa Malik became the first female Paralympian to get a silver medal. वहाँ से फिर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इनको गले लगा लिया. पूरे पैरा स्पोर्ट्स को एक तरफ से अपना लिया. सो द चार्ट पैरा स्पोर्ट्स में भी 2016 से पहले और 2016 के बाद का सिनेरियो एकदम अलग था. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर टुक सो मच ऑफ एफर्ट्स टू इन लोगों से जो ट्रीटमेंट, एक साफ तौर से ऊपर से आदेश था कि जो ट्रीटमेंट हमारे ओलंपियंस को मिलता है वही पैरालंपियंस को भी मिलना चाहिए. एंड इट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द टॉप एंड इट बिकेम अ काइंड ऑफ रेवोल्यूशन, दैट होल 2016 थिंग. और वहीं से मैं 16 से लेके अब 24 हो गए, तो मेरा भी सफर इतना ही लंबा है.
So you've seen them struggling. One is the struggle with their physical abilities and disabilities. That is a huge challenge for anybody. And apart from that, the competition level and the challenges making it to the team. Can you tell our listeners what exactly are the kind of challenges that these para-athletes face day in and day out?
I think, mentally they are very, very strong. Because they don't know their disability unless you remind them of their disability. Born with a disability है, उसे पता ही नहीं है कि लाइट क्या होती है. तो he is very much in his comfortable zone unless you make him very uncomfortable. So the fight is more with yourself. And मैं जितने भी पैरा एथलीट से मिला हूँ, वो कहते हैं कि वो अपने से तो लड़ लेते हैं, लेकिन जब एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी देखते हैं, यार मैं तो ऐसे ही पैदा हुआ हूँ जैसे आप, कोई गोरा होता है, कोई सांवला होता है. They were of the same opinion कि भैया जो मेरे हाथ में है वो तो मैं कर ही रहा हूं, लेकिन जो मेरे हाथ में नहीं है उसके लिए मुझे आप कैसे डिमार्केट कर सकते हो. मैं तो ये मानता हूं कि लोग खेल को चुन के सुपरस्टार बनते हैं, लेकिन हमारे जो पैरा खिलाड़ी हैं वो पहले से ही सुपरस्टार हैं क्योंकि वो खेलों को चुनते हैं. दे हैव ऑलरेडी डिफीटेड देयर बिगेस्ट एनिमी, बिगेस्ट ड्रॉबैक, एंड दैट इज देयर डिसेबिलिटी.
The athletes who have qualified and are into the mainstreams, they are in the limelight, they are heroes, no doubt, everybody knows them now. But what about n number of physically challenged people who are still sulking in the dark, in the confines of their secure environment? Is there any system wherein we are trying to encourage more of such people to come into the field of sport, take up sports, filter them and bring in more medals?
I think of all the things that the government is planning, sports is actually one of the most important things because physically also, whether you become a player, whether you become a national champion, international champion, medalist is a different thing. But you have a certain disability and you start playing sports. So it's good for your body also. If your body is good, your mind is good. And the first responsibility is of the parents. बहुत सारे मुद्दे हैं, जैसे accessibility एक मुद्दा है कि क्या हमारे हॉस्पिटल्स, हमारे ग्राउंड्स, हमारे समाज, हमारे बसेस, हमारे स्ट्रीट्स, हमारे मार्केट्स उतने एक्सेसिबल हैं या नहीं है, वो एक अलग मुद्दा है. लेकिन अगर माँ बाप उन्हें स्कूल भेजते हैं, फिर दूसरी जिम्मेदारी आती है जो फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर्स होते हैं. First coach is primarily physical education teacher, because physical education teacher is the first one who identifies that kid. He is in 4th standard, 5th standard, and then he is the one who has the responsibility to bring him to the structure which is made for the sports. So I think we have to involve a lot of physical education teachers who will recognize these people, rectify them. They may not be so qualified as to they may choose a game for them, but at least send them to the district para sports authority or district sports organization or state para association. So this is how I think it is going up. It has picked up in metros, but tier 2, tier 3 cities we need to work more harder on.
Which means there is still a lot of talent which is going waste, and we have to dig deep for that.
Just imagine a data saying that there are 5 crores of physical disability people in India, and across the world there is a campaign called We the 15. So there are different countries which have different criteria for disability. So We the 15 is a campaign which IPC, International Paralympic Committee, has started because they consider that at any point of time nearly 15% of this population of the planet is suffering from some disability or the other. So just imagine 10 crores, 12 crore people, and no country has this. Trust me, I don't know about Olympics, and I never compare Paralympics with Olympics because they are altogether different. I don't know when we will become a superpower in Olympics, but I can tell you with guarantee that given attention to this whole population of 10 to 12 crores, out of which 5 to 6 crores are between the age of 10 to 25, we can be the superpower in Paralympics. And even in the last Paralympics in Paris, where I was the press attaché for Indian contingent, we finished 18th. So just imagine finishing 18th, and the difference is hardly 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, which we can capitalize. Like we missed something on archery, we could have done something more better in shooting, but it's okay. So it's not at all difficult that in LA we can finish in top 10, and then we can give a tough fight to China, to Australia, to France, to US. And yet normal Olympics mein kab hoga, I don't know. But in Paralympics we can do this within 2 or 3 cycles.
You spoke about Devendra Jhajaria. I spoke to him once, and he said that in my lifetime I really want to see India to be in the top 10. And I think from Tokyo to this Paralympics at Paris, we improved by 10 notches. So we are at 18, which is quite creditable.
Let's go to Tokyo. Before Tokyo to Rio. Rio we were just 4 in Paralympics. Then we went to 19. Then now we have come to 29. And when I came back from Paris, and then someone said, now what to do with LA? Because we gave a target of we had the initial target of 30 within all the people of Paralympic Committee of India, but we didn't want to exaggerate, and we said that we'll settle for 25. So everywhere we said that ab ki baar 25 par. So we'll cross 25, and we did cross, and we were very close to the 30 target that we had set for ourselves internally. But in LA we are talking about 40 medals. So now to get 40 medals, athletics is giving us 50% of our medals, huge chunk, javelin throwers.
We have good archers, we have good shooters.
And let's focus on the games which are still not, can you believe that there are 22 disciplines? We participated only in 12. Mm-hmm. So there were 10 disciplines where we didn't even find players to participate, forget medal. And even out of those 12 that we participated, 3 were for the first time. So Tokyo we went with 9 disciplines. In Paris, we went with 12 disciplines. And in LA, we just want to increase the number of disciplines that we are participating, because we just want to give more and more players that exposure, bring those games to India. Though it may look that we have done very well, but we can still do a lot better.
Now let me introduce my listeners to another aspect of Mahavir Rawat. 2016, as he said, that he took the first assignment for Para Games, and now he has also come up with a coffee table book or a book for para athletes. I think that is a huge contribution, letting the general masses know that what are the kind of struggles and trials and tribulations of these players, and what can we do for them. Mahavir, tell us something about that book.
Suppose you and me are talking and I tell you a very interesting story about Sumit Antil or Avni Lakhera. Like Avni wants to become a judge or she wants to become a lawyer and she's studying law. So very few people know that, and
And how many people know that she is double Olympic gold medalist?
Gold medalist. Like I went to Sumit Antil's home when he was just starting in 2017-18, and I went to his home. His father was in army. He died of cancer, and he said that I want to defeat cancer and I want to get into the army. That was his first thing, and he cried the day when his leg had to be amputated because when he was coming back from a tuition, एक ट्रैक्टर उसके पैर से चला गया था और उनका पैर काटना पड़ा था. सुमित अंतिल, and Tokyo he got a gold with a world record. In Paralympics, Paris Paralympics, he broke the Paralympics record. So when I used to speak about these stories, and another very interesting story, that Navdeep is the biggest star of Paris 2024. But when I went to meet Sumit used to throw javelin and Navdeep had just started. So he used to bring his javelin because वो 40 मीटर फेंकता था तो वहाँ से Navdeep उठा के उसको लेके आता था. And Navdeep, because of his height, because he plays in a category of dwarf, so his उनका ना javelin नीचे लगता था. So he couldn't run properly because his javelin was longer than him. So there were many stories that I used to tell people, and Navdeep knows me from that time. So they said, why don't you write a book? So I said, then someone said, कुछ है ही नहीं कहीं पढ़ने को. Suppose if you are interested in listening to the stories of Paralympians or about Paralympic history, you actually have no literature in the country where you can read about them, where you can, like Nishad comes from Himachal Pradesh, वो अपनी मदर के साथ घास काट रहा था, उसका ध्यान हटा और उसका हाथ कट गया. So what was his struggle? So I thought that book could be sent to schools. All schools have libraries. Let the kids read them, get inspired. And I felt that every story that I wrote, even after knowing the story, even after being with with those players for day in and day out, when I read it, my eyes become wet, because you just imagine people fighting hard, struggling, their innocence, and how they have just come up and at the world stage when they see the Indian flag going high. I mean, it's a totally different feeling, and that was the only reason where I wrote the book. I have to update it because in that book there are only 26 players which had got medals before 2020, and now by God's grace that number is increasing, and I hope that this book never stops, and every Olympics that we go, we have more and more and more champions and more medals.
So you have seen the perception of general spectators and public and sports watchers change a lot. What do you want to tell listeners that what is their role to further encourage these athletes?
I have never seen anyone who has left the stadium without being amazed by the thing that these Paralympians can do. And when I went to Paris and I was on the stands, listening to the crowd, you should have seen European crowd, and everyone of Indians said कि sir ऐसा crowd नहीं देखा है. They were such aware of their event, of their disability. They were cheering for India. They were cheering for everyone, and it was altogether a different atmosphere.
I was there to cover the Summer Olympics, and I really feel that I missed out on not covering Paralympics, the kind of enthusiasm that was there in Paris for these games.
I just want viewers to just go, just watch and encourage them. This is all they want.
Well, sports is all about challenging yourself, and who can challenge himself or herself more than somebody who's already challenged? Thrill will be double the normal Olympics, double the normal sports. As Mahavir said, that we all must go watch it and then understand that what exactly it is. And he has watched it, his life has changed. In 2016, he covered it for the first time and came up with a book in less than a decade. So you can imagine that if he can be inspired so much, how much you can be inspired by the spoils of these cheerful players. Thank you so much, Mahavir, to be in our studios. I know that we can go on and on and on, but then we have limitations of time.
No, thank you, Nitish.
You were listening to the weekly program Our Guest, that is broadcast every Monday at 9:15 a.m. Don't forget to tune in next week, same day, same time and same frequency for more on Our Guest. Have a nice day.